They say every choice has consequences, but some choices decide life itself. Ethan and Ryan were brothers, close in age and closer in passion. Their world revolved around horror video games. Every weekend they turned off the lights, turned up the sound, and dared each other to survive jump scares and haunted worlds. But one evening, Ryan found something different. A new game, no reviews, no flashy ads, no developer logo. The cover was plain black, with 2 words carved in red: "Come inside." On the back, in tiny letters, almost too small to notice, it said, "Registration binds you." Creepy gimmick, Ethan laughed. Perfect for us. They installed it together. But instead of a start menu, the screen offered only 2 slots: player and controller. Ryan grinned. "New concept? I'll control, you play." But the second Ethan typed his name into the player slot, a white flash swallowed him. When his eyes opened, he wasn't at the desk anymore. He was standing barefoot on a cold stone floor. Torchlight flickered along damp dungeon walls. His breath came out in fog. "Ryan!" Ethan shouted. His voice echoed unnaturally. Ryan stared at the monitor. On the screen, instead of a character, he saw Ethan, his real brother, inside the game. The words appeared. 3 lives, 5 stages. Failure means erasure. The first stage began in a dungeon corridor. Rusty cages lined the walls. Some held bones, others held half-rotted corpses still chained. The air reeked of death. Ethan clutched a loose iron bar, his heart pounding. "This feels real!" Chains rattled ahead. From the shadows stepped a monster, a giant stitched together from scraps of flesh. Its claws scraped sparks against the stone. Its eyes glowed white like dying stars. Ryan's voice trembled. "Hide! Behind the cage!" Ethan crouched. The beast sniffed the air, its growl vibrating the walls. It lumbered closer, its claws dragging. Left. Slow. "Don't breathe," Ryan whispered. Ethan crawled, slipping on slime. But the monster froze, nose twitching. It roared and charged. "Run!" Ryan screamed. Ethan bolted, but he wasn't reckless. He spotted an open cage, swung the door wide, and at the last second ducked behind it. The monster barreled forward, slamming into the cage. The door snapped shut, locking it inside. The beast howled, shaking the bars, but it was trapped. Ethan collapsed to his knees, shaking. The screen pulsed. Stage 1 cleared. 3 lives remaining. The second stage was worse. A dead forest stretched ahead, ash crunching underfoot. In a clearing, hooded witches circled a bonfire, chanting. Their voices were low and haunting. The flames burned green. "Don't disturb them," Ryan whispered. Ethan crouched, creeping along the tree line, but his boot snapped a twig. The witches stopped. One raised her head, empty sockets, tar dripping down her face. Then they all turned. Their mouths opened wider than human jaws. A chorus of shrieks filled the forest. "Back! Get back!" Ryan yelled. They floated toward Ethan, their shadows stretching like claws. Ethan's mind raced. The bonfire. He had to break the ritual. He snatched a burning branch from the ground, swung it hard, and hurled it into the circle. The fire erupted. The witches wailed, their chant broken, their shadows twisting violently. Ethan dashed through the gap, but one witch's claw raked his shoulder. Pain was sharp, real. The screen blared red. "1 life lost." 2 remaining, Ryan's voice cracked. "Ethan, if you lose them all, you're gone." Ethan gritted his teeth. "Then I don't plan on losing anymore." The world shifted again. He was inside an abandoned asylum. The walls sweated rust and mold. Wheelchairs stood like forgotten skeletons. The smell of rot was suffocating. Carved messages scratched into the plaster read, "Don't look behind." Ethan's footsteps echoed. Too loud, too doubled. He froze. Another set of footsteps stopped too. "Don't turn around," Ryan warned. But in a cracked mirror on the wall, Ethan saw it, his own reflection walking behind him. Only its eyes were black, and it smiled. The thing lunged with a rusted scalpel. Ethan spun, blocking with a metal tray. The clang rang down the hallway. "Fight!" Ryan urged. The doppelganger slashed wildly. Ethan ducked, swung the tray, and smashed it across the face. The reflection screeched, dissolving into ash. The exit door burst open. Ethan staggered through, chest heaving. Stage 3 cleared. 2 lives remaining. The 4th stage dropped him into water. A village drowned, roofs poking up like broken teeth. The water was black and freezing. He waded forward. Then hands grabbed his ankles. Pale corpses surfaced, bloated, eyeless, moaning. "Ryan! They're pulling me down!" Ethan screamed. "Climb! Get to that roof!" Ethan ripped free and scrambled onto a tilted roof, coughing. But from the water, a woman rose. Her soaked dress clung to her body. Her hair veiled her face. Her voice echoed in his skull. "Stay with us. Forever." The sound was soft, almost sweet. Ethan felt his will slipping, his body leaning toward the water. Ryan slammed the controller. "Climb the bell tower! Now!" Ethan forced his body to move, jumping roof to roof, nearly slipping each time. The woman glided after him, her song digging into his mind. At the last rooftop, Ethan grabbed a broken bell rope. With every ounce of strength, he pulled. The bell tolled. Its deep roar shook the water. The drowned corpses shrieked and melted away. The woman wailed before collapsing into the depths. The screen glowed. Stage 4 cleared. 2 lives remaining. The final stage was a cathedral of bones. Candles burned with black flames. Skulls watched from the walls. At the center sat a shadow on a throne. Its voice shook the chamber. "To leave, one must sacrifice." Ethan whispered, "Sacrifice what?" The figure pointed to Ryan's screen. Words appeared. "Sacrifice one life to free the player. Or keep all and remain forever." Ryan froze. "If I sacrifice, does it kill you?" "I don't know," Ethan said. "But if you don't, I'm trapped here, forever." Ryan's hand shook. Tears blurred his eyes. Then he pressed the button. Ethan screamed as light consumed him. His body shattered into glass, fragments scattering. The game screen went black. Ryan sat frozen, the controller slipping from his hands. He had just killed his brother. But then, the console sparked. Text flickered on the screen. "Second chances are rare. Value them." Ryan turned, and Ethan gasped awake on the floor beside him, pale and trembling. "Ethan!" Ryan cried, hugging him tight. "I thought I was gone," Ethan whispered. The console smoked and collapsed into ash. The brothers sat in silence, their hearts racing. Ethan's voice was barely a whisper. "Life gave us a second chance." "No more games like that." Ryan nodded, eyes wet. "From now on, we only play the games that let us live. They say games are meant to be played, but some games play you. And if you're lucky, you only get pulled inside once.